Okay, so I'd like to show you how to import Homework 1's data files on a Mac, and hopefully this will help you out a little bit. I had a previous video on PC, so if you are looking at this hoping for help on a PC, go take a look at that. This is meant for the Mac if you are not using the virtual machine. Okay, so let's take a look at the instructions. What the instructions want you to do here is you first create and you name, then you adjust the sheet names, and then you import. Now, the import wizard on the Mac in Office 365 looks different than Office 365 on the PC. So you want to make sure you're looking at the right one. This one is for the Mac. I'm going to throw this off the screen. And, whoops, actually I'll bring it back. Sorry. Let's right click and save the data files. I'm going to download the linked data file as, and I am going to throw it on my desktop. It's a zip folder. And then you notice it downloaded. The easiest way I've found to find things is just hit the little magnifying glass. It brought it up on another screen, so I'm going to drag and drop it just on the edge of mine, minimize, whoops, where'd it go? Hit it. All right, there we go. And it pitched it off the screen, so let's see. All right, so there I moved it, sorry. I'm going to double click it. It unzips it. And you'll notice under it, there's a folder. You could have right-clicked and also picked, let's see, is it on here? Sometimes on the Mac you'll see decompress, but in this case I am not seeing it, so I think just double-clicking will work. Now keep in mind, everybody has their Mac configured a little bit differently, so you may see some different options. That's why I'm a little surprised here as I'm looking at mine. All right, so I'm going to zip those off the screen. We don't need to see those. And I am going to put Excel back up, and I'm going to throw the instructions back up. Pull that over so I can read it, and you guys don't need to be looking at it while I'm talking. All right, so I'm going to click down here at the bottom first, and I'm going to rename. One's going to be called Usage. One's going to be called Availability. One is going to be called Analysis. Whoops. See, got to be careful. Right click. Analysis Questions. I'm going to click back to Usage. I did skip a step where we were saving, so I'm going to go back here and I'm going to do Save As. I'm going to save it on my Mac, and I am just going to dump it in my desktop folder. On the instructions, he has a very specific name he wants you to give it, so I'm going to call it my last name, Phipps, my first name, Robert, underscore HW1, underscore MPUP, and it's saving it as an Excel workbook, XLSX, that's cool. Now, the reason he does this is so that you can find it if you mislay it. As you see, my desktop's pretty busy, and I was having a hard time finding something earlier. So that's one of the reasons he does that. You can search for it very quickly. The other is, if you at least save it at the beginning, there's a place for it to auto-save too. I have that turned off. I'll turn it on. Leave it alone for now. Never mind. But it should, especially on PC, should auto-save. So I am going to click on cell A3. I am going to import the usage file, which is what you all are here for. So we go to Data, and we go to, let's see, I have to look for it. It's from Text. And I am going to go to my desktop, and you can see right here in the middle of all that mess is the data files. And I'm going to click on Usage first. Yes, I am on the Usage. Now it's delimited, and you see it still looks a mess. I hit Next, I uncheck Tab, and I put comma in, and it flushes itself out. I hit next. It's general. We're not going to worry about the rest of those. And one thing I had looked at before was, is there any way to bring this in as a table? And unfortunately, as best as I can see, you see I'm looking through here, I do not see any way that you can bring it in as a table like you would on a PC. That means if you're doing this homework on a Mac, you are going to have to then, once you bring it in, convert it to a table. So I have A3 selected, and I'm scrolling forever down. I'm going to hold down the Shift key, click on that last cell, and I am going to go up to Home and format it as a table. Tell it my table has headers, and you bring it in. Okay? I just sort of ignored the errors. But that's how you would do that. Let's watch and do this one more time on the other one. I'm going to bring it into cell A3. We are doing the availability. So let's see, I need to go to data. From text, because it's a CSV file. It remembers where I imported from before. I just need to make sure here that I tell it that it's delimited. I uncheck tab, and I pick comma. And then at this point, really, I'm finished. I could go through and categorize all this data, but I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm going to put it in that existing sheet. And I'm going to use a shortcut this time, I believe, Control-Shift-End. Yep, it worked. I was expecting it not to. And I'll go back to Home, and I will format it as a table. You might choose a different color. The blue is easy on my eyes. And there you go. That's all you have to do. It's a little different on a Mac. Pay attention and follow the instructions and understand that it doesn't look exactly as it does on the PC, and that's okay. And you just need to make sure you're getting all the stuff in. And if you have questions, ask me. Thanks.